Here we are again. Another beautiful evening at the old Strouch Casa. Ready for another review video. Outside, grilling some hot dogs for the old kiddos. So anyway, let's go over some test questions and make sure you're ready to roll. So this is a kind of a twofold test. Okay, we've got kind of the genetic side where we're looking at Mendel and Mendelian traits and, you know, the Punnett square stuff and all of that stuff that we've been on for, week and a half now. And then we have the meiosis part of it. Okay, so meiosis, how basically gametes are made. You know, starting with a diploid cell and dividing it out into 4 then haploid cells that are all genetically different from each other. And again, that the biggest thing, a lot of questions on the test with meiosis have to do with that idea of genetic variation. So remember, meiosis gives us genetic variation. And specifically, the process in meiosis that does that is crossing over. So anyway, that's a big theme of the meiosis part of the test, is that, like I said, it creates variation within population. Okay, so you know, lots of genetic differences are created from meiosis. So starts out with a blood typing question. Remember, with blood typing, that's one of the ones that was a little bit different. So with blood typing, you have type O, which is the absolute recessive. So we labeled that like II. If you have type, you know, B blood, you could be homozygous, so it'd be like IB, or it could be heterozygous, IB, and then just I, because B is dominant over O. You also could have type A blood. Type A blood would be IA, which would be homozygous, or it could be heterozygous, I. Okay, so that again, A is dominant over O. So A and B are both dominant over O. And then the other odd thing about it is there's the AB situation where A and B are co-dominant to each other. Okay, so you have O, which is the absolute recessive. A and B are dominant over O, and then AB would be co-dominant. Okay, so the question has something about a mother that is O. Sorry, I gotta turn the hot dogs. A mother that is O, and she thinks that this certain guy is the father of her child. Okay, and her child has type B blood. Okay, and the guy has type AB blood. So basically, is that possible? You know, could he be the father? And so you'd have to do a Punnett square, or, you know, share your rationale of why, you know, that is possible. And think about it. If he's AB, so his, you know, he'd be IAIB would be his genotype, and she's O, so she'd be II. So he's going to give an A or a B. So could the kid be type B? Sure, because if that kid got his B and then her O, the kid's genotype would be IBI. So anyway, that's just one question. Just kidding. Hopefully it's not that confusing. The two, you know, we went over the dihybrids today in class. So remember, there's going to be 2. There's going to be one where you have to actually do the dihybrid, the 16 square, and it's set up for you as far as the genotypes. It gives you the genotypes of the parents, and then you have to do the square and then see the percentage that have this certain trait. Okay. There's another one. This is a little, not tricky, but if you look there, okay, see the E plus, and then EE? That's just going to be a normal, you know, Punnett square, just a 4 square one, and instead of the E, you know, instead of like big E, they put E plus. So again, it's the same thing as, you know, saying big E, and then the little e, just so you know, they put that little plus in there. There's 1, 2 on the next page that are the sex-linked traits. Remember, sex-linked traits are carried on the sex chromosome, and more specifically, only on the X chromosome. So females have 2 alleles, males only have 1 allele. Okay. There's the other dihybrid, which I said in class today. You'll have another dihybrid where you have to go backwards and find the parent's genotype. So it gives you the dihybrid, and you have to go backwards and get the parents. There's another just regular 4-square, another regular 4-square, another regular 4-square where you have to go all the way to the F2 generation. That's why you had that one on your review. Another sex-linked trait. Okay. All right. Let's see. Ooh, a incomplete dominance. Okay, remember, if you have red flower and a white flower, they make a pink flower. Well, what if you cross 2 pink flowers? You know, what are the chances of a white flowered plant? If they have 4 plants, what are the chances of one of them being white? So you need to figure that out. What's the only way that you can get, you can show a recessive trait is that if you get a recessive allele from both mom and dad. All right, then we get into meiosis. Meiosis and fertilization are important for the survival of many species because these 2 processes result in genetic variability. I told you, lots of questions that have to do with genetic variation, genetic variability. That's why meiosis and sexual reproduction is so important. Yeah, let's turn the lights on. It's getting a little dark out here. There you go. All right. What else? Meiosis causes the offspring of organisms that have sexually reproduced to be genetically diverse. This is because meiosis produces, you would need to know, genetically unique cells that increase the variation. How many chromosomes are in a gamete? Okay, 23. Crossing over. Okay, what does crossing over lead to? Genetic variation. And that's getting to the end of it. There's about 3 or 4 questions that are mitosis questions again, just to kind of review about mitosis. So, anyway, that's it's a shorter test because you have the Punnett squares to do, so it's only 29 questions. So it's a little bit shorter, and that way you will have time to get through all of those Punnett squares. So anyway, that's really about it. Sorry, gotta get the hot dogs ready. Hungry kids here. As always, I'll be in classroom before school, or you can message me on Edmodo if you have any questions. But I think as long as you understand the Punnett square stuff, I don't think the meiosis part's going to be too difficult. So have a great night. Happy studying. See y'all tomorrow.